This video will help you learn how to increase zone concurrency or run more than one zone at a time on your baseline controller. Running more than one zone at a time can help you reduce your overall watering time and manage your site water window. Begin by opening a browser and going to baselineapps.net. Log into your Baseline Apps account with your username and secure password. Once you're in, open the Base Manager icon on the left side of the screen. To run more than one zone at a time, we need to adjust settings inside each program, so click on the Schedules tab and open the first program you want to change. Click on the Edit tab to make changes. Scroll down a bit until you find Concurrent Zone Operations. The first change that we can make is what's called Program Concurrent Zones. I'll update it to 2 zones at one time, and then change Controller Concurrent Zones to 6 zones at one time. I've told the controller that in Program 1, no more than 2 zones can run at any one time. Across all the programs in the entire controller, it can find up to 6 zones to run at once. That means 2 zones can run in Program 1, and an additional 4 zones can run in other programs, up to a total of 6 zones. These settings work great when you know how many zones your system can handle at once. Your experience may tell you that a 4-inch main line can supply enough water to run more than one drip zone at a time. When programs operate something non-hydraulic, like a lighting system, you'll find that it doesn't impact site hydraulics. In that case, I would uncheck the box that says Include with Total Controller Concurrency. This means that Program 1 would not be counted against that 6 controller concurrent zones, since it doesn't impact the hydraulics of my 4-inch main line. An easier and more efficient way to run more than one zone at a time is in the Flow Setup menu under Main Lines. Select Edit and scroll down until you find Design Flow, which is based on the hydraulic capacity of your main line. I looked at a pipe pressure loss chart and I see that my 2-inch Schedule 40 main line can safely carry up to 50 gallons a minute. You'll need to reference a chart for whatever size and material your main line is. A 2-inch copper main line and a 2-inch PVC main line each have different capacities. So if you're not sure how to find this information, reach out to your baseline distributor for help. Once you have the design flow set, select Manage by Flow. This allows the controller to run any combination of zones up to 50 gallons a minute, but no higher than that limit. We're essentially giving the controller the ability to sort out the puzzle pieces of all your different learned flows and fit them together in the most efficient way. Since the controller uses real-time data, it can adjust if a zone faults or fails to run. Make sure that you've learned flow or this won't work correctly. Lastly, save your work before you leave. We need to go back to the Schedules tab and make a change. Previously, we said that only 2 zones on the program could run at the same time, but I want to change that. Select Edit and scroll down until you find Concurrent Zone Operations again. This time, I'm going to change Program Concurrent to 15 zones and Controller Concurrent Zones to 15. I've selected 15 zones because that's how many zones a 2-wire controller can operate all at once, which is based on the size of the transformer. The controller now has the capability of running up to 15 zones and 50 GPM worth of zones at one point. It may find 15 3 GPM zones, it may find 2 25 GPM zones, or 5 10 GPM zones. It will never run more than 50 gallons in a minute and never more than 15 zones at one time. Conventional wire systems treat concurrent zones just a little differently. This enclosure fits 48 zones of conventional wire over 2 different powered bicoders. Concurrency for powered bicoders is set at 2 zones for each group of 12. This first bicoder has 12 zones on the lower half, and it can run 2 zones for that group. There are 3 more groups of 12 zones, and each one is able to run 2 zones at one time. This enclosure can run 8 zones at once, spread out over all the powered bicoders. Some systems may have very large main lines and have hydraulics that can run more than 15 zones at once. A substation that's wirelessly connected to a base station 3200 gets another 15 zones concurrent. On this site, the base station 3200 can run 15 zones on 2-wire. When I add a substation and connect it back to the base station 3200, I get another 15 zones concurrent. With each additional substation that I add, I get another 15 zones concurrent. In this configuration, with one base station 3200 and 3 substations, I can run 60 zones at one time, assuming my hydraulics allow it. Regardless if you're using a conventional wired system or a two-wired system, running more than one zone at a time is a great way to reduce your overall watering time and take advantage of the hydraulics on your site.